let's sketch the graph of y equals 3 times 2 raised to the x power plus 1. And I want to proceed by using our transformations of functions, which means I'm first going to think about the graph of y equals 2 raised to the x power, which I can graph very quickly, just with 3 points. I already know that's an exponential growth model, right, because the base is larger than 1. And this quick table will tell me some points I can plot. This isn't the final answer I want, but it's a starting place. So this is the graph of y equals 2 raised to the x power. If we think about our transformations of functions, I first see a stretch, a vertical stretch by a factor of 3 because of that 3 times my parent function, so a vertical stretch by a factor of 3. And then I see that plus 1 on the end, that's going to be a shift up, a vertical shift, 1 unit. All right, and that's the order I need to do these things in, right? I need to stretch it vertically by a factor of 3 and then finally shift it up once. So to stretch it vertically by a factor of 3, I can imagine multiplying all the y values by 3. So that would put this y value at 3 halves, or 1.5. This one would go up to 3, so 1, 2, 3. And then this last one, 2 times 3 is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The horizontal, I should have mentioned this earlier, this graph, the original one, has a horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. It's worth noting that if I multiply and just stretch, the things near 0 would stay near 0. And so as I stretch this by a factor of 3, my horizontal asymptote wouldn't move through just that transformation. So this would be the graph of y equals 3 times 2 to the x power. And now finally, I just need to shift everything on this purple graph up 1 whole unit. So I'm just going to take these 3 points I applied and move them all up 1 unit. But now it's important to note that if I move everything up 1 unit, my horizontal asymptote will not be at y equals 0. It will have moved and be at y equals 1. My final graph has a horizontal asymptote at y equals 1. When you're graphing an exponential function, if you transformed it, if there's a vertical shift, you're going to need to move the horizontal asymptote. And it's my recommendation, generally, to always dot in the asymptotes and not to let them be understood by your reader, because then it's really easy to accidentally draw just a little too low or not go, draw too high and it doesn't look like it's approaching the asymptote. If you actually dot in the asymptote, there's no question that you knew there was a horizontal asymptote affecting the left-hand side of this graph.